Chapter 2, May 18th. So today's like any other day. We went to school and the whole day was really just normal, and I was really bored in French class. And my friend Miranda sat beside me. We both kind of rolled our eyes like, oh my gosh, can't believe we're doing this again. Um, Once I got home, Mom said, get the homework done so we can make it a party. And I thought, okay, fine, it's like the big event. And so I finished my homework, and then we started to watch CNN about 8:30. And Johnny was, excited, and he said, maybe he'd be an astronomer. Um, but I know all the astronomers are watching, and they're really excited. They're like kids. And so we go outside. We took our chairs, and we sat there and watched, and it was pretty amazing because all of a sudden then somebody yelled, that they saw the asteroid coming, and it kind of remembered like what it must have been like for all those kids like during the Middle Ages who were looking up at the sky and marveling, as to what the skies held and the mysteries, and I felt like I could be any 16-year-old in history. And Miranda and I were sitting beside each other, and it was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then all of a sudden, boom, it hit. And we were shocked because it actually made contact with our moon. And I realized if our moon was attacked, then we were attacked. And somebody started screaming and yelling, oh my God, oh my God. And then somebody else was saying, what? But the moon that was a half moon earlier, it was tilted and it was the wrong way, and it was 3/4 moon, and it got larger, way larger, like the moon was rising on the horizon large. Only it wasn't rising. And Miranda said it felt like somebody was playing marbles, and one marble hits another marble on its side and pushes it diagonally. But it was still our moon. It was just this big dead rock in the sky. But it was terrifying. And Mom said that we needed to come in, and she was we were going to turn on CNN, but there was no cable. There was no CNN. And then, I said, well, maybe I should try Fox News. And she said, oh, no, not Fox News, So we did keep trying to get Matt on the phone, and we couldn't get a hold of Matt, and we were just hoping he was okay. And Mom told me to go outside and check again. And I could see, Mrs. Nesbitt's TV glowing, and through the windows. And there were still people, around in their backyards, and but I kept thinking, what if it comes closer to the earth, it's trying to crush us all to death. But it was still way off, but it was still tilted in this really funny, bizarre way. And it's kind of like we felt like, like when CNN was gone, it was like civilization had ended, Because gosh, if you can't watch CNN, you're out of the loop. But then finally, Mom said that Matt would call us, and that was the one thing that Mom said that was true, because Matt, sure enough, called us about 10 minutes later. He said he couldn't talk long. He was calling from a payphone, which is rare because payphones are really not even hardly around anymore. He said he was in town, and we tried to call Dad, but the lines were crazy. And we tried to call Grandma in Las Vegas, but we couldn't get through to her either. And then, we started getting stations out of Philly, which is weird because we normally get New York stations where we're located, and but anything. But what we could find out about was that somebody said, that the moon got hit, like we knew that, only that something had been miscalculated, and The newsman, when we did get on to that Philadelphia station, said that they were receiving reports of widespread tsunamis, and and I know that the moons control the tides, and well, the tides are really affected because it was swelling. The tides were swelling way beyond the boundaries. There was massive flooding, we heard, that was reported all over the eastern seaboard. But all these were like preliminary reports. So, we're just waiting to see, what's going on in New York City and Boston, because she has publishers that are in both of those cities and she's concerned about them. We had heard that there was a confirmed report of tidal waves that were 20 feet or higher in New York City, and the tides don't seem to be stopping. Also, I can't believe this either. The Statue of Liberty had been washed out to sea. That's just like surreal. And they said Cape Cod had been flooded and it was basically gone. It was submerged. It was below the water level. How can a whole area be below water level? I mean, and the barrier islands off the coast of North Carolina, they were gone. They were just submerged, gone. Then the president came on. He was talking from his place in his ranch in Texas, and he said the United States had really suffered its worst tragedy, and that Mom kept reassuring us, hey, we're inland, and there's no reason to evacuate. And then I kept listening to the reports on the radio because our batteries, operated our radio. And they said that the Pacific Ocean was also being affected, that San Francisco, LA, San Diego. And then there was one report that Hawaii, the islands of Hawaii and all of parts of Alaska were gone. So I just looked out my window for a second and tried to look at the moon, but it's really scary. We'll see what happens tomorrow.